Hey everyone, just want to stop by real quick with this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Klauser, literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
So, like, if I show her that, do you think that I'll get some puss?
Welcome to The John Show with your host, John Doogie Klauser.
All right. What's going on? How are you? How is everyone? Doing good? Hope you're doing good. We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, Juan D. Klauser, episode 133 of this great and wonderful production. So we're here on a new episode, brand new night. So I'm switching up again Monday. I think this is gonna be the new official filming day, because this is technically Mondays are like my Sundays, and so it's just a lot easier to shoot them on my days off. And it's like, well, John, you have a couple hours on Monday. Why don't you just do it then? It just makes it's so much easier. You film on Monday, and then on Tuesday you're uploading your one you did the previous week. It just makes way more sense. Well, so we're here on a new episode. So yeah, and plus too, so I have a crazy deadline on the 15th. I normally have like a full month to write a story, but this month I don't. I am writing a short story that has to be due on the 15th of this month. And it's pretty easy. It's like, it sucks because it's like the deadline's a lot sooner than it normally is, but the great thing is it's a free one. It's a 3,000 word thing. The idea has already been done. Not done, but like I've already written the story in one sense. I'm just changing the tense of it. So then that's it. So that's about it. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, so funny. I love how that just like kind of just died right there. But we're here on a new episode. Yeah, so it's so weird because like I just got back into town. I was out of town. I was in Orlando, Florida, which was crazy. It would blow your mind. It blows my mind. I saw 3 different men go out of the bathroom, like just got done taking a shit, just got out, just opened the stall door, and just walked all the way out into the bathroom, just left. And I'm like, I wonder, it's like, well, this makes sense why you guys had so many cases of COVID. Like, it's like, you guys just not even do the bare minimum. The bare minimum. It is insane. So I did some work down there, as well as I went to Disneyland, or is it Disney World? One of the ones, I don't know, which was fun. I saw a lot of people sitting on the ground. Okay, so this is the thing. I can understand a child. I can understand a kid. You go to Disney World, you go to Disneyland, whatever, and it's insane what we do at these amusement parks, where we'll wait for an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to ride something that lasts for maybe a minute. It's insane. The wait to like enjoyment ratio is so off for being. It's just insane how it's just crazy. But like, there's some really cool rides that like I did the Avatar. I did the Avatar ride. Like, my heart, I'm really baked right now, so that's the reason why. Like, I'm like, dude, I am so fucking ripped, and like my heart, I can feel my heart, and it's almost like I'm having like a panic attack in a weird, crazy way. It's fucking hilarious right now. It's like, John, what are you having a panic attack about? Like, you're just in a room by yourself, recording, talking to a microphone. You can easily just push pause. You can easily just push stop and just start the whole thing over again. Why are you being such a turd? You're being a turd right now. Anyway, so like, I went on the Avatar ride, which is crazy cool because like it would mimic that you're riding one of those banshees, like one of those flying bird things that the avatars fly on, and you like do dips and dives and turns and things, and you feel the whole thing, but you're just staying in one spot, and you just have like glasses on, like 3D glasses, and then what happens is like there's like wind and there's like mist that hits you in the face. It's like so cool. It's like it's very player active with you, or is that the right word? Is that the right term for it? It's very interactive. I guess that's the better term for it. Then there's like the new Star Wars ride, which was really cool. Oh, that was really cool. But yeah, it's insane. The wait to the reward for doing it ratio is so off, and they're so like these places are expensive as hell. Like I was thinking, like, because you can easily like drop almost a K, and it's no big deal. It's like it's just super fucking easy. It's hilarious though. It's good time though. It was a great time. And well, anyway, so like what I was talking about, like going there and you're waiting in line. I can understand like little kids sitting down on the ground because, you know, they really don't know better and it's a kid. But when you're a grown person, I don't think you should be sitting on the ground. It's like you should just have a little bit more respect for yourself. It's just absurd to see this, to witness this. It's like just have a little bit of respect, just a tiny bit of respect. But, you know, it's just, it's absurd. That's, yeah. What else? What else I have? I wrote down, like, it's so funny because, like, you know, I've been traveling and I'm like, so I'm not jet lagged. I'm just like, I want to get this done because I need to get I need to start writing and I need to do laundry and I have so much other things I need to get done. If I can get this filmed, I can edit it tomorrow. I can just start. It speeds up the process and I'm actually ahead of a day. But anyway, it's like, oh God, I can totally tell that, like, what's going to happen. I'm doing this podcast right now. I'm like in the mud. I'm trying to get through it. Just like, I'm like, John, you gotta talk. You kind of have some things written down, but you just gotta fucking hustle. You just gotta power your fucking way through this goddamn fucking show. And there's gonna be like a minute left, and then it's gonna be like I'm like, oh, I'm awake now. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll now, and that's what's gonna happen. I just have a strong feeling like it's like when I don't talk and I just listen. I'm like, what is my microphone's picking up? What else is it picking up? And that's the reason why I paused there. I was like, what's that? And I think it was a truck. Yeah, like it's so insane. Like I can hear a truck and I can hear like a TV. I can hear like a TV going. Anyway, so yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. Florida's a little different, a little weird. It's so funny. Like you go down there, you're like, you're expecting it to be warm. You're expecting it to be like hot. Then it's like, oh yeah. Then you add the humidity. Because you're living in the tropics, and then it rains almost every day, or like it offsets the rain a little bit. But yeah, it's just a good fucking Florida, man. It's not my favorite place to travel to, and especially in Orlando, there's always traffic. It's weird how these cities like that, and I don't think it's just because it wasn't built. It wasn't built with the idea of thinking that like so many people are gonna come live there, like it is now. Like what do they say about like Florida? Florida is a sunny place for shady people. That kind of thing. It's such a hilarious thing to brand a whole state, but the state is crazy because like just North Florida is just the South, and then you have the middle Florida, and then you have like the southern part of Florida, which is Miami, which is basically like European light because Miami is not like the rest of the United States. You got Cubans, and you got like people from the DR. You have island people, you have black people, and you have like crazy white people who do a lot of coke. And I know it's crazy to stereotype like that, but it's the goddamn truth. And well, with all that, it's like it's just such a different fucking state. It's just I tell people all the time, like Florida is not part of the. It's like it's part of the United States, but it's really not like the United States because it's so insane. But like I was doing a little research because when I'm in a state, I like doing little stuff like weed. Like it's a misdemeanor. If you have like a gram to like 20 grams of it, I'm just like, what? I'm like, that's so crazy because you'd think that a state like that would had a. I thought when I was googling, I'm like, this state has to have legalized. I mean, hasn't it legalized, or it has at least for like recreational or not recreational, but like medical use or something like that? And I didn't see anything medical wise. I didn't do very much research. I saw like the what you get arrested for, like what would you be charged with. So I was like, oh, okay, and then I just moved on with my life. But I was like, what the fuck? Like it's I was expecting a lot less charges for it. I was expecting it to be like no one gives a shit down here. Like it's fucking Florida. Fucking Florida, you know? What else do I have to talk about this week? Florida people not washing their hands, kind of gross. Yeah. It's so funny. I get so mad. It's a funny thing. This is like one of my little soapbox things I'm about to fucking go off on. I'm not going to really go off on. I'm not going to cuss. I'm not going to do anything. That's probably the only F word I'm going to drop this whole time. But what's crazy to me, and like maybe it's just it could just be my brain and how my brain works. I just don't understand like how this can be a thing that people do, and then what they blame it on, or what they say that the reason why they're doing it, and like maybe they're true, and like because like there's no wrong or right way of doing what you got to do to like be what you want to do. But I just figure you should just do it. Okay, anyway, so what the thing is like there's always people. It's fucking hilarious, like seeing people online. I just fucking cussed again, and I fucking. What's funny is seeing people be like, "Oh, like I'm starting my podcast up again," or I'm like making a new album, or making a new song. Should I write an album? Should I write a single? Like, should I make a what song should I write about? It's like I've always just thought that like you just make stuff. Like I've always been in the mindset of like as an artist you should just make things, and if like the thing is making it, you're making it for yourself. Like what's the point in asking someone like, hey, what should I make, versus like, hey, what about this idea I have? You think this works? Does this make sense as a story? Like it works in my head, but does it work like when I deliver it? Like sometimes just talking it out, just being like, it's this plus this and this, and then like you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Or it's like, oh, I think that's already been done, so like why would I want to do that again? Versus like, oh, what should I make? Like what do you think I should make? Should I make a single? Should I make an album? It's like what, and like people say that it's like, oh well, I'm doing it to get interaction with people, with fans. It's like, why would you? I'm not saying you don't want that, but you should want the interaction to be like. And I would feel like you'd want it to be in the comments. You want it to be in like in the whole scheme of like you make something and people comment on it. And people are like, oh yeah, this song like said like this, or this music did like this, or this video, this podcast, they talk about this and that. Like that's you as an artist. Like you should be coming up with that. Like for me, I was like, okay, what should I do? I went like, I just want to do a podcast that I'm talking, being a filmmaker, talking about like being someone who is just trying to make it, I guess you can say, trying to be the Latino like filmmaker, or the Quentin Tarantino, like the Latino Quentin Tarantino, and like you just talk, and I'm just like, I'm gonna talk, and maybe I should like do like a thing, like if I do like the Juan Solo Show, I could do like the Amigo Show where like I bring someone on and we can talk, and then like sometimes I have someone on. And then like we talk, and I call it like the Amigo Show or something like that. Something that is like a joke because it's like a play on like me being Hispanic. Yeah, and like it's just something stupid. It's silly. It's just like a silly little thing because I'm not really like expecting much of this. This is honestly just fucking practice, because I feel like if I make this is just something I make. You just kind of used to it. Like it's like, okay, this is, as an artist, this is something that he does. This is what he provides. Check it out if you want to. Don't check it out if you don't want to, and that's it. I'm not asking, like, I've never asked one time for, and I'm not even saying, I don't know if it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, but for me, it's just weird, and maybe it's just like myself, and and I'm self-aware enough to be like, maybe this is just a kink in my armor, and maybe this is like an insecurity. Like, I never ask people, like, I'm like, whatever I'll do is like, I never ask like, hey, what should I make? I'll ask someone like, hey, is this a good idea? Does this make sense? Like I just said, I'll do that, but I'll never be like that person who's like, what should I make? Because I just assumed that was me as an artist. That's what you're supposed to do. I figure like that's just bare minimum. I don't know. And like maybe I'm wrong because like I'm not trying. If I make something and someone like comes up to me and is like, hey, that's really awesome. That's really cool what you made. I'm like, thank you. Thanks. Or like, that was funny. Ha ha ha. Thanks. Whatever. I move on. If you like, that's it. Like I'm making stuff for myself. I'm trying to make stuff for myself. I'm trying to express things that have gone on with me about myself. Like it's because it's very narcissistic a little bit. Because like think about this. Like when I post this online on Instagram, I'm literally saying like, hey, give me 30 minutes of your life every week, and listen to me talk. And that's what I'm providing to you. And like maybe I'm providing you a different perspective of maybe filmmaking, of art, as someone like is just trying to like, you just need to make things. In my mind, it's like you just make things. The more things you make, the better you can get because you're doing it more. And maybe I'm wrong, but this is the mindset of like coming from playing football or playing sports, playing team sports. Like everyone has a goal on the team and everyone has a thing. Like you just got to come in and you got to work and you just got to do it. And it's just like over and over again. Or like mindset, like when I work out, like I work out 5 out of 7 days, 2 days off to rest. For the most part, that's what I do with kind of like my writing. But I even on my off days, I'm editing. I'm doing something with it, or I'm filming, or I'm editing, or like now I'm doing these little things where I'm just filming someone cook an egg, just being like just the steps of like how they make an egg. It's just doing something. Like you just gotta make things to get better. That's what I've always thought it was, because like the more you're doing it, like it's like doing 3 throws. I remember like waking up 30 minutes earlier in the morning and growing up all the way. And when I was waiting for the bus, like when I rode the bus to school, and I would just shoot 3 throws, do 50 every day, and try to make like, as many as you can out of 50, and just work on your stroke. And I was bomb at 3 throws, and then in high school, bomb at it, because that was just something I had the muscle memory of doing it for so many years, and I had a style. I just had my system, and I just did it. I don't know why I kept doing it over and over again, but anyway, the point is that you just I just thought that you just do things. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm assuming there's nothing wrong with that, because I was watching Hard Knocks last night, and they're getting close to, if you're not knowing, Hard Knocks is on, it's an HBO sports thing, and like they follow a team during training camp, with them having like a roster, then having to cut down, and like you see like how a team gets ready for an NFL football season. It's really fucking cool. You should check it out if you like football. I love football. Here we are. And so he's talking about how like there's like, when you're at the very end of it, like when you have like the last cut of the preseason before, like, you get your final roster, your final 53, what it is that there's 2 boats. There are the people that are extremely talented, but they are just jerk-offs, and they just don't apply themselves. And then there's the people who do everything right. They come in, they're early, you can rely on them, but they're just slightly, maybe just a half second slow. Or they're just a little bit tiny. They're like just they don't weigh enough. Or they can't jump high enough. Or, they sometimes drop more passes, or they have their inability, like, you can't fully connect with them. Like they're always going to be a 3rd or 4th, choice, like out on the field, and it's just how it is. As like, I'm just seeing the wide receiver, something else, like a 3rd, they're always going to be like a 3rd stringer kind of thing. And you have these 2 groups. And the thing is, like, I feel like that's sometimes how I sit, where like I could be a jerk off and just not apply myself and not do anything. Just hopefully, like, hope to God this works. And just what I do is, I show up all the time. Show up every day. What I think about it is, I literally think of like, I have this imaginary studio, right? And every day, like whenever it's like filming, podcasting, doing like weird little short films, writing, anything, any of the whole stuff that I do, lighting, working on sound stuff, all of it. It's like I imagine myself, what I do is I'm going into that thing, I open the door, unlock the door, flip the thing on, says from closed to open, turn all the lights on, and I do a thing. And I do it. It's a mental thing, and I'm building this thing where then people will eventually want to come in and be like, oh, what kind of like stuff do you do? What kind of podcasting stuff do you do? And like they're like basically like a record store. They look through the podcasting stuff, or then they go upstairs and they check out the theater where like all the short films are, or all this stuff. That's just how my mind is. Like you just gotta fucking show up, and like it's fucking hilarious how I don't know. It's not even I get mad. It's just I'm just like, what are you doing? Like I'm like, it seems like you're wasting your time when you could be making something. And granted, then the energy I'm getting mad about, I could be making something, and that's the thing. Then I get mad about myself. Like John, you're just wasting energy that you could be doing something else, like doing a podcast instead of worrying about what other people are doing. Fuck that. Think about what you're doing and just make stuff. But it's like, because it's like, what the fuck? Because it's hilarious. Because like I feel like I know I could be doing more. I always feel like I could be doing more, and that's just the thing. It's like, John, you just have that mindset of just got to do it more, and it's fucking hilarious. It's funny because like when I was at Disney World, Disneyland, I don't know which one I was at. That I watched like the little like mini doc on Walt Disney, and he came from Missouri. I'm like, oh, I live in Missouri, Kansas City, and he had like a paper route, and it was this whole just him like just having like just it all started with a mouse. Just he drew a mouse, and then that's this whole Disney World, Disneyland, the whole Disney empire kind of was built. And it's like, you just got to come in, work. And he's like, he would talk about like, yeah, he's like, 2 years after like making all these like little short things, I had no money, but I had all these like these little pictures. That's all I had. And that's the thing. Like sometimes it's like, after, many years, you don't have much money as a filmmaker, but you have a buttload of like material that you've made, and you can just now be like, well, okay, you want to check this out? You can check this out. You want this? You can check that. And it's like, what have you been doing? Like, where have you been? I'm like, I've always been here. I've just been making stuff. No one's ever just wanted to come over and check it out. So that's what I feel like. It's just like, you just gotta keep going, gotta keep moving, gotta keep just punching the punching bag over and over again. But it's just funny seeing other people and seeing what they're doing, and being like, well, maybe. Just maybe your path isn't the same thing as their path, John. Juanito, whatever you know. That's the thing. Like, you just can't be focused on that. You just got to do your thing, make your stuff. And if people want to see it, they're going to see it. If they don't want to see it, then you just say, all right, well, that's cool. Well, it was fun for me to make that. And I feel like less of like a jerk off and just move on. And that's the thing. Yeah. So I guess that's the soapbox rant. If that was even a rant. It's just funny because this is what I just think. I just feel like you gotta just make stuff. If you make stuff, then that's better than like asking people what they want. Like, people really don't know what they want most of the time. As art, they don't want that. They didn't think they would want that, and then you show them something, they're like, oh, that's fucking awesome. I can't live without it now. It's like, that's what the point is being an artist, I think. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm a moron. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking moron. I'm like arguing with people online about like Earth being flat. It's like, it's not flat. I'm like, guys, we have pictures. Like, they have pictures all the time. Like, those pictures could be fake. I'm like, bro, you don't know. And then they give me things like, well, I knew a guy who's a lawyer, and then he, what he does is he does blow on his lunch breaks at working at Target. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything what we're just talking about? But I'm like, it is what it is, John. I'm like, just let it go. I'm like, well, but I just don't understand how people can believe the Earth is flat, and then past like Antarctica is an ice wall, and after that is this other land mass that controls like the whole world. The small group of people control all of the world. And I'm like, it's fun to think. I think it's like a fun conspiracy. I think a lot of conspiracy theories are so much fun to think. And be like, oh yeah, that was cool if that'd be cool if it was real, but there's no way this can be real. There's no way in hell. Like, maybe, but the things, then you hear things like Bay of Pigs and like, oh, that shit was real. Like, they're going to really just give the Cubans a bunch of weapons, and then we're going to then attack them and then blame it on them that they're trying to attack us first. It's like, what the hell? So I'm not saying things, and like, it is weird. Like, I think it's kind of weird that they told us about all this, because when has the government ever wanted us to be in like equal to them with knowledge? They don't want that. It's not their fault. It's not our fault. It's no one's fault. It's just a system way of how we have it. It's just how everything's created. But telling us about like this UFO stuff now, and like there's these objects that are flying. It's like, what are you saying? Are you saying this stuff now because, like, do you guys have like new technology, and we're about to you guys are about to use it on somebody? Is this why, or is it because like we're getting close to the whole end, quote unquote? I don't know. And like, maybe we have made connections with some other people, and now you're trying to get us, like, you're baby stepping it into us. I don't know. But it's weird, but in reality, I'm just like, they're saying this because they're trying to make us think they want us to look over here while they're doing stuff way over here up in this far little corner, like right here, like right over here. They're doing stuff here, but they want us to look way on all this stuff, So that's how I feel. That's just how I feel. But I don't know. I'm a moron. I'm a guy sitting on a stool, talking to a microphone, looking to a camera. So I'm no expert on this at all. Is it fun? It is hilarious to think about. It's hilarious to think that that they want the best interest for us. It's not they don't want us to be fully out of the loop, because then they can't make money off us, and that's the whole point of this whole thing for them, is to make money off of us, which is how it's set up. It's not their fault. It's not our fault. It's just how what we've chose to do. Now we've become an oligarchy, an oligarchy, an oligarchy. We're not really a republic anymore. We're more of an oligarchy. I can't think of the word. Anyway, an oligarch. Is that the right? Can I use that as abbreviation? But that's basically like when a group of people choose a group of people to think for them, instead of allowing the whole group to think in a whole like a whole herd. Because that's what a republic's supposed to be, is that everyone has equal say. But now an oligarch, we choose groups of people to do all the thinking for us and run everything for us. So then as citizens, we can just focus on doing just smaller things. That's probably the dumbest way you can ever explain that, but that's basically what it is. And that is what I am. So I'm just like, so there's no want for them to have us have equal thought like them, or have the ability to think like on the same level, because then what's their job? Then they have no job. So it is what it is. But yeah, conspiracy theories are fun. I'm just like, I have about a minute left, guys. So yeah, so I think this is probably where this podcast will end. It's done, thank God. So I pulled it out. I had to get warm a little bit, and then I was able to do it. So yeah, I will talk to you guys on the next episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do something good. Try to make something. Draw. Paint. Same thing, basically. Take a picture of something. Just have fun. Just try to be better than you were the day before. I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it. That's the best way. I don't know. That's what I try to do. Just try to do things. It's back to the grind. This week's going to be crazy for me, because I'm going to have to hustle and bust my ass to get a lot of this writing done, which it's normal. It's all right. But yeah. All right. Be safe, guys. I'll talk to you on the next episode.